Okay, welcome to the Dream Party Hotel, a place of hospitality for your dreams because you can't sleep when you're dead. This is how to interpret a dream. I'm going to read you a dream submitted to me via a forum online on my website. I'm going to read out the prompt questions that I asked that were answered by the dreamer, and then I am going to give my commentary on this dream. Not all dreams beg an interpretation, but I will do my best to give any and all commentary from what I know as a frequent flyer of the dreaming. Again, I do not claim to be an authority on the meaning of your dream. You are the final authority on what your dream means. I will just give my opinions and tell you a story based on the story you tell me. So here we go. This dream is called Her Turn, and I'm going to read the dream now. I walk into a cozy room, walls lined with 4-foot-tall bookcases, neatly filled with books. There are 2 twin beds in the middle of the room. A woman is sitting cross-legged on the bed by the entry door. My friend is sitting on the other bed with her legs dangling off the side of the bed. The first woman floats back up, headed towards the end of the bed, and a link chain appears at the same time and connects her back solar plexus chakra. It doesn't touch her skin. The link chain begins shaking her really fast up and down. Then the shaking stops. My friend puts her legs up on the bed, and then she floats up as a silver link chain appears, seeming to connect to her back solar plexus chakra without touching her. And then it shakes her very fast. End of the dream. Here are my prompt questions that the dreamer answered. What was your feeling upon waking? Answer. I felt intrigued that I was being given a gift to unwrap. Question. What was your intention for dreaming? Answer. My intention was, show me what I need to know to move forward beyond resistance and blocks. Question. Could any part of this dream happen in your waking future? Answer. I feel that this is a dream to unpack, to understand how to move forward. Question. What's the background context of this dream? Answer. My friend and I have been talking about how to move forward in life. Question. What do you want to know about this dream? Answer. I want to know about the silver chain link appearing as each woman floated up and was connected to its purpose for appearing over the twin bed. Okay, so if this were my dream, this is, again, a dream that I don't think needs too much interpretation. I think the content is extremely literal and extremely straightforward. So here's what from what I know, what I'll tell you about this dream if it were mine. What jumped out to me most about this dream was the silver chain link. Silver was a reoccurring theme in my dreams for a little while, a couple years ago, and it was pertaining to silver shoes. The silver shoes that I found were related to traveling in dreams, and it was connected with another dream theme that was going on about the Wizard of Oz. Now, in the movie, the shoes are ruby, but when I researched it, the shoes in the original book are silver. So in the original Wizard of Oz story, Dorothy's shoes are silver, and if you don't recall, the shoes are basically her vehicle to travel through worlds. They not only allow her to go into the other worlds, into Oz, but also come back home. So silver is also has that attribute in general. It's not just part of the book, it is an attribute of silver as a material. When I researched it, one of the first things that came up was when performing astral travel, silver will will serve as your anchor as you travel from one reality to the other. So whether or not, I believe the author of Wizard of Oz is Frank L. Baum, whether or not he knew that specifically, the astral, or I'm sorry, the like esoteric qualities of silver, and that's why he wrote it into her shoes as her means of Dorothy's means as astrally traveling in this story. I don't know, although he was definitely learned in secret knowledges, so he very well could have known, but that's not really the point. Whether it's a coincidence or not, the point is that silver is really important, and it ties into the theme of this dream to me, which is astral travel. So not only is silver, but it's a chain, and it's a silver chain that's linked to the solar plexus chakra in the dream. When one traditionally or classically will astral travel, they will project their energy body out of this chakra, out of the sacral chakra. So if this were my dream, I am being shown a very literal image of what it looks like, feels like, and how to astral travel or project my energy body out into the world and travel only with my consciousness, which I believe we do in, like, everybody does naturally when we dream anyways, but then there are more intentional acts of this when we are conscious and when we are awake. And it can also overlap as sleep experiences, but astral travel could basically be both waking experience and sleeping experience, intentional and non-intentional. But the thing is that we want to be tethered. We want to have a tether back to our bodies. So when we do conscious dream journeying in my practice, we use the drum, a traditional single frame drum, as our tether from our bodies out into the astral or the dreaming. And so we can use it to travel outwards and come back in. So the chain for me, the silver chain, is my means of travel. It's my way to not only project my consciousness out into the world, but also be able to come back safely to my body and to my primary awareness. In terms, and then of course, again, the silver being a really key aspect to how this literally works and can be done and has been done traditionally. So I think the twin beds was an interesting little note, because it's kind of like when we travel consciously outside of our body, astral travel, dreaming, we are in our like energy double or our energy body or our dream body. So the twin bed reminded me of that. There's like my friend, and then there's other woman. This other woman does it first, and then my friend does it. So other things that were interesting is that I was looking up more about astral travel, and the first thing that came up was this article about symptoms of astral traveling and what it feels like physically when we are involuntarily astral traveling, or voluntarily, but specifically this was written for like people who are experiencing it involuntarily and want to understand it. But two of the symptoms, one was actually, of course, a feeling of floating, which makes sense, but one of the symptoms was a feeling of shaking, like having your bed being shaken. So I thought that was like that ties exactly into the dream. So I mean, all the details are there: the twinning, the double, the shaking, the floating, the silver, the chain or tether, and the part of the body that it's connected with. So all of this is quite literally an image of astral travel. So I don't think there's a lot of metaphor to this dream. I don't think there's a lot of symbolism. If this were my dream, I would want to re-enter it with consciousness. Literally, it's kind of like a meta dream re-entry, because you're re-entering a dream and where you're gonna then do astral travel. So you're like astral traveling to do astral traveling. I don't know. Anyways, I'm not big on like specifying between terms. People are like get really into specifying between like the difference between astral projection and remote viewing and conscious dreaming and shamanic traveling and regular dreaming. To me, it's kind of all dreaming. So I don't usually specify, but I think in this case, it serves us to kind of specify the fact that this is like very literally describing, showing, exemplifying a situation of like all the attributes of classically astral traveling. So if this were my dream, I would want to re-enter it consciously. If you need help, if you don't know how to do that, you can reach out to me on social media and I can help you, I can show you, but I would re-enter this dream and go back in it. For me, the message and the gift of this dream is held within the dream itself. I don't think there's any sort of interpretation or metaphor that I or anyone else could give you that could serve you more than re-entering this dream with your own mind and enacting what it's showing me. I think in terms of moving past points of resistance, this could be really interesting. If we were speaking right now, I would ask you, like, do you have points of resistance for practicing conscious dream reentry, practicing active imagination, practicing creativity, flow states, things like that? And if so, then this dream could be a really great access point to move past resistance and not in a way of someone being like, oh, it's not in an intellectual way, but in an energetic way. To me, I would re-enter this dream. I would go in, you could do whatever you want, but for me, if this were my dream, I would re-enter it and I would join my friends and see what it's like to astral travel, and with the intention of moving past resistance in my life. And I would see where it takes me, where the journey goes. I would continue this dream forward. And in that way, I can get a direct energy transference that directly addresses my resistances, instead of someone like me telling you something intellectually about moving past resistance. It's way more effective to just like go straight into it. So if you want like tips or tricks or guidance on doing that, I can help you. But if you know how to do it already, just go for it. And then there is one symbolic reference I would give to this dream, and that is I would think about, do I have a fear? Am I feeling resistance from moving forward in life due to a fear of letting go? And perhaps my fear of letting go is that I will find myself lost. So the chain link was the most prevalent detail to me in this dream. And again, the chain link is the tether. It ties us back to our body and our primary awareness so that we are able to freely go and journey as far as we want to, safely, confidently, knowing that we have a way to get all the way back into our body and all the way back into our primary awareness. So if this were my dream, I would think about building myself a grounding tether, either symbolically or physically, or in whichever way I think to do so, in whichever way it calls to me. And the more I bond with my grounding essence, my grounding tether, the more I might be able to build confidence to let go and go on a journey and move forward into places unknown where I don't know all the answers. I don't know what's going to happen. I don't know what to expect, and to release those fears that are, creating resistance for me to move forward in my life. You mentioned that you've been practicing a meditation. I hadn't heard of that specific technique, so I can't speak specifically to that, but meditation is one great way to practice tethering back into the body and tethering back into our primary awareness. So just continuing on that path might do it, but I would definitely do something to honor this dream specifically, even if it's, wearing a silver chain link as a piece of jewelry or something could be cool. Could be a cool reminder, just a reminder of this dream, to be able to carry the dream with me wherever I go, because this is a dream that can serve me as practical advice, wisdom, and exchange for my entire life. I don't, this dream is like very much eternal. I don't think it will be dated at any time. So I would re-enter this dream with consciousness. I would dream this dream forward and see, bring my intention back into it and get the message directly from the dream, because otherwise I do not feel that it begs an intellectual interpretation. I think the dream is extremely literal and straightforward, and something to explore literally and straightforwardly. So yeah, this is my opinion, my story. If it were my dream, let me know what you think.